we'll come on in here and sit down and on in and just going in and shut this door and then I come back out and get my can. On that side of the right? Casseroles. And I enjoy that, but I'm going to go back to trying to fix some casseroles and different things like that. But I don't know. I enjoy it along. All right. So we've covered important stuff. All right. Now let's talk about marriage. Are you married?
I am.
All right. Is that working out okay?
She says it is. Yes, it is. I mean,
well, I mean, you know, I try to be careful with that question.
Look around.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
Right.
Okay. So how long you been married?
21 years.
21 years.
Yeah.
Man, that's good. That's really good, ain't it?
Yeah. She works at Sam's. Enjoys working.
Yeah.
And as much as you can enjoy working.
Right.
And we live a house that I had built. I've been there for 22 years. And got quite a bit of property, but it's mountain property, which I like. It's, you know, we just let nature tend to it. I can go out and walk on it, or ride on it, or whatever I want to. And game everywhere, you know, squirrels and deers and bears and whatever else is out there. Yep.
Well, tell me this, and what do you think what makes a good marriage?
I think you need to have, you know, God in your marriage. And you got to have peace and understanding, listening. You got to understand both have roles, and they both have boundaries and borders. You know, and one of the first things I told my wife when we got married, I said, marriage is kind of like Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in our marriage stays in our marriage.
Yeah.
You know, everybody else don't need to know your business all the time.
Yeah.
And not saying there's any bad business there, you know, but still,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
You know, and that way you don't have the outside sources constantly judging you and trying to fix you all the time. And I think it's a lot of problems people have in marriages is somebody else is trying to fix their marriage when the marriage really ain't got much wrong with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, one thing I found, I've been married 42 years, okay? One thing I found my wife has started doing, and I tried to talk to her.
Didn't you?
Yeah, I was just a baby. She tricked me. She come from the city, and I was in the country, and I was kidding around one day about getting married. Next thing you know, she had me. But you know, it just happened. So what I think though is she's gotten out. I think a rule should be made in marriage that after a husband says something, there should be an amount of time before the woman says something. Because what I've got now is when I say something, Janice starts right into the conversation right after I say something. And she usually to give me advice. And I told her, I said, we need to have like a 5-minute span. Like when I say something, you wait 5 minutes before you say something. That gives you time. And she hadn't agreed with it all one bit. She hadn't agreed with that.
I seen a really interesting meme that made a lot of sense. If you would just stop her and tell her, this is the way my mom does it. She'll listen to you, and she'll learn from it.
Yeah. The alimony would be, I would have to, there would be alimony, I'm sure.
Yeah, Mama does it this way. Maybe you need to think about it and start doing it this way.
I think there's things, you know, man, in you know, it's a marriage, and I love when people say this about the marriage being 50-50. I said, what's a bunch of junk? It's 100-100. You know, I mean, and you know, I'll tell you what I found out, and I'm going to ask you this. All right, when we talk about marriage and being a better husband, okay, I've worked in the last few years trying to be a better husband, okay? One thing I try to do is I make sure I pick up everything I can pick up. I don't leave a thing laying around.
Right.
You know, I make sure that my clothes, my stuff, my Pepsi can, okay? You know what I mean? I don't leave a thing. So what if we got you down, now your wife wasn't here, maybe she was here, and we said, now what could you do to be a better husband? What could you do to be a better husband? And if you think you're perfect, it's okay. I mean, because I'll ask her. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I might have to keep her away from you a little bit. You know?
If you want it to be a better husband, if I said today, you said, this is the only thing I think I need to do, John, or this is what I need to do.
I guess you kind of, like the Bible says, you need to be slow to speak and quick to hear, you know, and a lot of times, like, you know, we need to kind of relax, think things through before we say things.
Now, are you saying you need to relax?
Since she's watching,
so you're because your head's in the ground.
Yeah.
And I get you go into preacher mode on me there.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you see, when we say this is what I need to do, I might need to slow down, or I might need to be slow to speak.
But we're all in this together. That's when I use we.
See, I like that. And when I interview preachers, they change gears on me. Okay,
Yeah.
they go into preacher mode, and then I said, no, this is not what we're talking about. We're talking about if you search your heart. Search your life and said, this is what physically. I get some people come to, well, we need to pray more, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, do you pick up your underwear? I mean, do you vacuum? Do you ever wash dishes? I mean, what do you think you could do?
This made me excited, okay? About a week ago, I did 2 loads of laundry.
I
had to get my son tell me how to turn it on and everything.
Right, I like it.
I got 2 loads of laundry. And listen, I took them out of the dryer.
Okay.
I folded them.
Shoot.
Put them away.
Folding them.
Yeah.
I haven't done that at all. I've never done that. I mean, I've just.
Now, where I come from, we say doubled.
Doubled. Yeah, I've never done that. I've never folded clothes. I don't ever remember folding any clothes. I can't. The washer, she won't let me wash. Now my wife I can take these pants off, and I'm telling you, they'll be washed and back on the shelf before the morning comes. She's set on that stuff when it comes to washing, and I really don't understand that washing machine completely, how it works,
Mm-hmm.
But she washes the dishes. We don't have a dishwasher. She washes the dishes when I cook. She wants to wash them because I don't think I do real good, and so I think she likes to wash the dishes. But I really try to make sure that I'm helpful, and respectful toward her. And I think that's tough.
Like you were talking about marriage, it's not 50-50, it's 100-100. You remember back in the 70s, the little roadrunner looking thing that would dip up and down into the water.
Yeah.
That's marriage. Mm-hmm. You got to keep each other, you got to feed off each other, supply for each other, and just keep each other going. Yeah. Tipping up and down. And that bird will do that about all day long,
right.
And instead of balance and hold even, you'll be constantly working. The marriage is work. It's something you got to work really hard at, and you got to flatter each other. Mm-hmm. What was I'm getting back to preacher mode again. The Bible says when talking about God, when I am weak, He is strong.
Right.
That's the way marriage is. Where you're weak, Janice needs to be strong.
Yeah.
When Janice is weak, you need to be strong. And y'all need to flatter each other and make each other strong to where y'all can become one.
Yeah. She points out to me sometimes that I'm very, she says I live in my laxy-daisy world because I'm very narrow-visioned.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I don't, she looks at things in a broader stroke. And that helps me a lot because it keeps me in line in things. And she'll back up and not only she do that, all my kids want to do it all at the same time, but they focus me, because I'll get off focus, and it's exactly right. They should be there to help each other.
Yeah, I can hang out with one of my friends one day, and she'll say, "How are they doing?" And I said, "All right, I guess." You don't know? No. Seemed all right. Well, you was with him all day.
Yeah.
Didn't you talk? Yeah, but not about how he's doing, though. Yeah. The male mind and the female mind just works so different about things. And, we're kind of concentrating on right now, getting this done right now, and they're seeing more broad. And,
yes, sir.
And that's what it takes.
I agree 100%.
You got a provider and a nurser, and it's what it takes to make a great family and a great home.
Yeah, yeah. And, and sometimes I see people that are not like that. I'll see 2 crazy people, and I'm glad they wound up together instead of ruining anybody else's life. Yeah. And we've all seen nuts get together.
Drama lovers. People just love drama.
And it's all right because I know people like drama, okay? And if you like it, you sort of search out somebody else that likes it, and then they can get together, and it works out pretty good.
There's people that will poke at you and poke at you and poke at you, and you're trying to be the man, and you're trying to be cool, and you're trying to be the bigger person. He'll poke at you until finally you say stop and get back onto them. Then they're happy as can be.
Yeah.
And that's all they wanted was to get you upset and get you riled up, and then everything's okay.
Yeah.